classroom. When you look at the city of Albany, we have a wonderful Montessori school, wonderful, one of the best Montessori schools in the capital region. It's 70% white in a city that has 49% African Americans. And one of the barriers to access to that school is transportation. So I just want to commend Derek for bringing this piece of legislation. We need everyone in our city to have access to good school, no matter where you live. We want to make sure that transportation to any school in the city of Albany, in the city of Albany, is accessible. And I hope that our state elected officials do the right thing and our governor sign this legislation. As a Montessori teacher, I know the impacts of Montessori education. And right here in the city of Albany, we have a phenomenal Montessori school, but because of transportation and lack of transportation, so many kids of our city kids are not having access to that school. Another thing, there's also a lottery system, and I understand that. But thank you, Councilman Johnson, for introducing this. And thank you.
Mr. Igo.
Yes, I too would like to thank DJ for putting this forward. I've had discussions for years with the school board, last few years with the president, Ann Savage. It's just terrible up this way. I have hills, woods next to the roads where it'd be easy to grab a kid. I have quick getaways off Route 85 on the other side. A lot of kids, a lot of children won't go to Eagle Point anymore because of that. Okay, they're pulling them out and trying to put them elsewhere. So thank you, DJ. I would like to be a co-sponsor.
Mr. Kimbrough.
Yes, echoing the sentiments of my colleagues. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I'm pretty fresh off of the where do we relocate the middle school in Albany? They were discussing North Albany versus Arbor Hill. That would have had they chosen Arbor Hill, would have compelled the kindergartners and the small children and babies, yes, they are babies, to get and make their way out to North Albany, and that was simply unacceptable. So this is timely. They create these exceptions in both the suburbs and rural areas, but not here. So this would aid in getting some buses for our kids to get them to school. So thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Kimbrough. Can the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. President. Anani,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Ballerin,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Conti,
Yes, co-sponsor.
Doshette,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Fahey,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Farrell,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Flynn,
Yes, co-sponsor.
Frederick,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Hoey,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Igo,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson,
Yes.
Kimbrough,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Love,
Yes, co-sponsor.
O'Brien,
Yes, co-sponsor.
Robinson,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
15 in the affirmative, Mr. President.
Resolution passes. Continuing on with resolutions, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice resolution, or 81-102-21 and ask for its passage.
Thank you. Can the clerk please read the resolution?
Resolution of the Common Council outlining its actions and expressing its findings and intent concerning the City of Albany 2022 budget is proposed in Ordinance 31-102-21.
Discussion on this resolution? Seeing none, can the clerk please call the roll?
Wait. Oh,
You got your hand up, Mr. Nani?
yeah.
Go ahead.
I just want to thank all my colleagues, particularly Jenny Farrell with the budget intent memo. I think it articulates many of the promises and the vision that we would like to see our city. So I just want to thank, the chair of finance and also all those who had an input in a budget intent memo. A budget is a moral document. It talks about our vision. And I'm glad to see that having access to broadband is on there. During this pandemic, it highlighted the disparities that exist in our city. 1/3 of our residents don't have access to the internet. Access to the internet is no longer a luxury; it's a necessity, and we have to make sure that everyone in the city of Albany have access to it, particularly our K through 12 students. If we want to be a city that offer opportunity, this is something that we cannot push by the wayside. So I'm glad to see that is in the budget intent memo. And also I want to commend Michael Bryant and also Joyce Love, who have been pushing for senior services. Last year that they pushed for it, the administration listened, and they have added that in this year's budget. So I'm really glad to see that was included in this year's budget, and want to thank Mike and also Joyce Love for their hard work on this issue. It's important that as our aging population get older, we have services that they could enjoy their golden years. And I know many of my council colleagues will be there. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of our seniors. I'm also excited to see that there's been discussion as it relates to our youth, making sure that we're supporting our award-winning summer youth program. We want to make sure that every child that's interested in having a enrichment in the summertime have access to that. I want to commend also Jenny Farrell and also Tom Hoey because they've been advocating for a living wage for the city employees, which is also from $15.52 to $16.17. That's something that we want to make sure that everyone that's working in the city have a living wage. What else? Speed humps. Speed humps. I know that the mayor is doing a pilot, particularly in certain communities. Quite frankly, there's not a single neighborhood or ward that can't use the speed humps. I commend the administration, also advocates for the speed humps. We want to make sure that everyone in the city feels safe, pedestrian and drivers alike, but also comes to a moral thing in our society where individuals in our city feel that speeding through our city is okay. It is not. And I'm glad that we're also going to be adding 80 new police officers and hope that we could get a traffic division in our city, something that has been missing. So while the speed humps is a Band-Aid, it's still a step in the right direction. And I'm glad to see that the administration is supporting that. Again, we're going to work with the mayor and our state representatives to advocate for $15 million in additional funding. The state, time and time again, are expanding throughout our city, and they're taking up a lot of real estate. I know Paul Vandenberg will say that we're going there to beg. We're not begging, Paul. We're asking for what is fair. If we were to tax all the state-owned properties, we won't be asking for $15 million. So that's something that I know the administration and also our governor and our state representative have been really champions, great champions for, and I hope that we could continue to be great partners with the state. It costs a lot to be, host to state government, but 63% of our properties in the city being tax exempt is something that we definitely need to address. And I'm glad that the mayor will be advocating for the $15 million, and I'm confident that we will receive it. So all in all, I want to thank everyone who been on the finance committee, also all the committee members, all the council members who have advocated for their voices to be heard and also for their constituents' voices to be heard. I know sometimes we might all not see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, we're all here to work for the people. We're all here to work for the people. Some communities have access to the internet, so they're able to read the budget faster than some neighborhoods. So we want to make sure that even if it's a last minute request by residents in the city, that we take their issues and concerns into consideration. So I just want to thank the mayor, the staff, and the council and finance chair for all the hard work that has produced this budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ballerin.
Thank you. I'm gonna be quick and brief. I just want to say thank you to Jenny, all the committee members, all the members that attended that are not committee members, all the faculty and staff. I'm thinking my other job. all of the staff members that have been sitting there, multiple meetings, week after week after week, hashing a lot of these issues out. When this document came out last Wednesday, it was 9 pages. When it came out again, it was 11 pages. So I am very appreciative to everyone who's worked very hard. I'm very appreciative to everyone who's put in their input, who attended all the meetings, who had the back and forth. I'm very thankful. And like I said, I don't envy you, Jenny. That's a very difficult position to be in, to try to get all of our different viewpoints addressed in the best way you could. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate all the work that's been put in by all the council members and all the staff to get this document to where it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Can the clerk please call the roll?
Anani,
Co-sponsor, please. Yes.
Ballerin,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Conti,
Yes.
Dorchette,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Fahey,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Farrell,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes, co-sponsor.
Frederick,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Hoey,
Yes.
Igo,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Kimbrough,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Love, O'Brien,
Yes, co-sponsor.
Robinson.
Yes, co-sponsor.
That's 14 in the affirmative.
Resolution passes. Completes that for the agenda, Mr. Kimbrough.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Motion to adjourn.
Hold on 1 minute.
Second.
Hold
couple
on, I got
hands.
something.
Oh, couple hands up.
I just
I'm
like
not-
to- I just like to take the
Mr.
time-
Igo.
like to just take the time to thank everybody for everything this year, since Thanksgiving is coming up and I won't be seeing any of us live, and have a good one. Don't eat too much.
Thanks, Joe. I should have saved you for last. That's what we need to end it on. Mr. Hoey.
Yeah, I wanted to, Councilman Anani, when you came up with that statistic, I looked at the Census Bureau, and you're really off, but I'll talk to you offline on it about the
Thank you,
population.
Mr. Hoey. We don't want to have a debate at this hour.
No.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, so I just want to talk about parking, and this, this isn't as fired as many would think that by Newcastle situation. When they post signs, there needs to be some type of oversight over the process of signs going up and the amount of time that neighborhoods are given. I got multiple calls this week in regards to those similar scenarios where the signs were put up.
No, and we're right at the end of the.
After we can.
The signs were put up and residents weren't given enough time, and people's cars ended up getting towed. And I'm also calling for somebody to. I need some help. I've been dealing with a parking situation on Catherine, just above South Hawk. I'm told by the city administration that they can't enforce the parking laws because due to signage, there's no signs up. But down the street, they were able to put signs, no parking signs up to the community. They're not enforcing the parking on the businesses that are on Catherine, the 3 car dealerships. They're parking on the sidewalk. And it's to the point that if you come down Catherine, it's basically a one-way because these cars have been parked there for, years, and another issue is we are asking our residents, our homeowners, to move alternate park so the streets can be swept. And the street sweeper is coming through and it's either not cleaning the streets or it's not coming through. So people are asking for a schedule to be available for them so they can know when to expect the street sweeper. And also they're looking for some type of assistance with the dominating of parking by the businesses in the second ward. And I just want to say that historically, people have been able to just do what they wanted to do in the second ward without any pushback. And I want to let it be known that we are getting together. We are talking about things that we don't like in our community, and we expect it to be responded by this administration and anybody that cares to come and do business in our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Just quickly, the Public Safety Committee meeting is on Thursday. I suggest you go there and work with that committee, especially on the signage, because that's what's going to be. So you should come ready for some suggestions for that committee on Thursday. Mr. Anani.
Yeah, on the issue of special permit parking, special events parking, I actually have a piece of legislation that address exactly what Councilmember Johnson said. It gives a notice. Right now, there's a policy that traffic and safety have as it relates to emergency no parking. We need to codify that and put into law that before any notice is given out, at least 48 hours need to be given to the residents. It is not fair. Very too often I hear from residents that they might go away for the weekend and they come back and their car is towed. Sometimes parking, special events, posting happens 10 hours before an event will take place. So we need to codify it. It's unfortunate what happened in the South End, but this is a piece of legislation that we definitely need to take a look at again. And on the topic of statistics, that's wrong. I want to talk about that a little bit. Well, maybe I misspoke. The Albany demographics compared to the census in the city of Albany, 45% of residents in the city of Albany are non-white. In the Montessori school, currently, the majority of students that attend that school is 70% white. So I wanted to make the clarification that because of transportation access to that school, many of our disenfranchised communities and also marginalized communities are not able to have access to that school. That school has done a wonderful job. As I know Danielle has worked there. It's nothing but great things that we hear about the Montessori school. So again, I want to be clear that when you have policies in place that prevents our youth, Black and brown kids from getting access to schools, these are some of the things that happen. And I want to commend Derek Johnson for bringing this legislation up, because for our city to go, all neighborhoods, all kids need to have access to opportunity, particularly education opportunity. Thank you.
Mr. Kimbrough.
My motion to adjourn,
To say.
Mr. President.
Second.
All those in favor?
Hi.
Meeting adjourned.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving.
Good night to everyone except for Alfredo.
Except for you then. Good night, everyone else.
No, good night.
Good night.